Say with Suella. So welcome, Fiona. Thank you very much. Great to have you on the show. The National Campaigns Coordinator for the Revolutionary Communist.
My dear friends, ये जो है ना असली में शलोम नमस्ते जय भारत जय इजराइल ये वाला वीडियो हमने करीब 8-10 दिन पहले देखा था। इसमें एक ये लेडी एक यंग गर्ल है, अफ्रीकन है, जो ब्रिटेन में पैदा हुई और वो ब्रिटेन की सिटीजन है। और आप ताज्जुब की बात देखिएगा। Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. This show is in English because I'm so sorry. I thought I will do this. Maybe a part of this I'll do in English, in Hindi as well. I saw this video. In the beginning, there are few lines, few sentences are in Hindi. So I beg your pardon. I love Hindi as well. I like and love English. I love Hebrew as well. So now let's talk about what this video is all about. And it's a kind of a rebuttal. Okay. So this young lady, her name is Fiona Lali, is a communist. Okay. Now I kept the title of this is like she's the most extremely ungrateful young lady. Why? Because she talks about let's go up in the end of this video and what she says when our madam, our great lady, I admire her, I respect her, Suella Braverman. I like her very much. She's patriot, she's very sincere, she's very honest. And she talks about her work. She talks about her tasks. She does her work very, very nicely. And she's very much anti this groom team and so on and so forth. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, if suppose this video doesn't go well, at least I'll take two people, Madam Suella and this girl, this lady, her name is Fiona Lali. I want to start from the end of the video where let's see what.
And that's what I'm here to promote, and that's why we need to widen out the encampments and grow the movement to beyond what it currently is doing, so that we can actually halt the government and their support for the war machine in Israel. Okay,
right. So there we go. So I'll give the final word on this because we are very pressed for time. You know, you have had a good opportunity here to engage with somebody, you know, in a wholehearted discussion about what you've seen. What's your view on what we've heard?
Well, having discussed a little bit, I mean, you know, one thing that strikes me is, you know, the lack of facts in the conversation and in the debate, the slightly irrational perspective on, you know, basic facts of our society, of which you're a beneficiary, like capitalism, but you'll never, you know, we won't agree on that. And ultimately, your refusal to answer basic questions about Hamas.
See now, here Madam Suella says beneficiary of the capitalism. She says very clearly. And this girl grew up in capitalism. There's a slide I'm going to show why she's extremely ungrateful. Why she's ungrateful? Because she grew up. Her parents, grandparents must have come as refugees to England. And then she was born in England. And she grew up in England. If she would have, her parents, grandparents would have not come to Britain, UK, she would have been a dust in any African country. Okay. So now here, you know what she says against capitalism? Let's see.
And Israel's right to defend herself right now. It's, you know, interesting to hear.
I think the part I missed.
Some places, other people, not students, have gotten involved, and I think that's a great thing.
Are the students at university?
Because I think the staff from those universities should get involved, and in almost every single one of the encampments, there's statements of support from the staff who want to encourage the students, and not just that, wider people from the community coming to provide food, to provide support.
Okay, so now she's saying here that her communist movement is appreciated by many people People are coming to give them food, fruits, and water, and so on and so forth. I'll have some slides to show that nobody bothers about Fiona Lali or Communist Party or anybody or anything, because now English is waking up. England is waking up.
For what the students are doing. And the reason that they're doing that is because everyone has realised that you cannot appeal to politicians. There's not a single politician in this country that is actually going to do something to try and stop what's taking place. And they are realising the only faith that people can have, the only power that people really have, is in themselves. And that's what I'm here to promote. And that's why we need to widen out the encampments and grow the movement to beyond what it currently is doing, so that we can actually halt the government and their support for the war machine in Israel.
Okay, right. So there we go. So I'll give the final word on this, because we are very pressed for time. You know, you have had a good opportunity here to engage with somebody, you know, in a wholehearted discussion about what you've seen. What's your view on what we've heard?
Well, having discussed a little bit, I mean, you know, one thing that strikes me is, you know, the lack of facts in the conversation and in the debate, the slightly irrational perspective on, you know, basic facts of our society, of which you're a beneficiary, like capitalism, but you'll never, you know, we won't agree on that. And ultimately, your refusal to answer basic questions about Hamas and Israel's right to defend herself right now. It's, you know,
I want to show her part of where she speaks against, very much dead against capitalism.
Where Jewish students have felt that they cannot express themselves and they cannot behave and live freely on campus. And that's one important point. In terms of the charge against racism, listen, I mean, I don't agree with that. You know, the government and our government policy is to control migration. That's something that we've been elected to do. We have a mandate to do.
All of these terrible things. I was watching the thing today, you're saying war is a tragedy and all of this kind of stuff. First of all, capitalism produces all of that tragedy, produces racism, produces all these...
Now she's saying capitalism is producing everything, racism and so on and so forth. She is a product of capitalism, because her parents, her grandparents would have got rotten in any African country. And when she came to England, and you know what she has said 2-3 times, Madam Braverman, you are a liar. And then finally she said, you are a war criminal. Now, if suppose she must understand this, if she says this in any, she loves communism. She's a communist. Now she's fighting in an election also. I have a couple of slides too, and I'm requesting the English people not to give even one vote for her, because the communism and Islam is coming together to kill the whole this modern civilization. Remember this. They will kill Jews, they will kill Christians, and they will then kill each other. This is what is going to happen. And this girl is going to take a big part. She's 20-25 maybe. She doesn't know what is what will happen in the community. She's very excited. So let's start from beginning.
I wonder if that's a central...
So before this, we start the interview, I would like to show you a couple of slides. Video extra slides. Okay. So I'll introduce you. Who is you have no slides. From slide, your computer. Just a minute. I'm so sorry, I couldn't download because I didn't have time. Share screen. This also will keep, because we'll have to show few things, few cuttings, and then we go slides. Your computer, upload file. Okay. Okay, so I think uploading, and I'll introduce her to you all, who is Fiona Lali, and what her plans are with the Communist Party, with the communism, and what she's going to do. She's basically an environmental this thing, okay, environmental activist. But what her plans are to just to keep the environment clean. And I don't know who brought her into this politics. Politics was business. Okay. All right. So let's go to the first slide. Now, okay, here it is. Sorry. So now you see what is going to happen. What will happen? Fiona Lali's. I don't know why this is not showing. Why she is an ungrateful lady? Why? Because uh, Fiona encourages everyone to come together to strengthen the movement and bring an end to UK's support for Israel. Okay, this is what she's doing, and she is a communist, and she's fighting the election. In next slide, I would request the English people not to give even one vote for her. Now she is working together with Muslims. So here it is now, communists and Islamists, the unholy alliance of the extremists. So they have come together to destroy the local, to destroy the civil, this culture, to destroy this culture. So now I had some points written here. Why she's an ungrateful lady? Why? Because her parents or grandparents must have come to England as refugees, and England is capitalist country, and they grew up here and they settled down, and she was born in England. That's why the English people cannot remove her, cannot cancel her visa, because she is British passport holder. If she would have come from somewhere else, would have would have taken birth somewhere in other country, would have come like and settled here, they would have cancelled her visa because she's extremist. So she's ungrateful because the capitalism brought her to England. With her parents came first, her grandparents. The parents were born, and she was born in England, and she holds the English citizenship and passport. And she has given such a freedom as a British citizen, that she could speak anything. 3 times she says to Madam Suela, I like Suela, Madam, very much. She's patriot. She's very sincere. She's very honest. She's very sincere to her country, England. Her parents are from Goa, India. She was born in England. She grew up. She studied well. I think she studied law or accounts. I don't know exactly. And she became, and she's very much critical about this grooming gangs. And she's very much critical about that the illegal immigration should not happen in England. These people are coming, and they're all Muslims, and they are destroying the English culture. I'd like to show you some slides what's now happening, because there is a gentleman called Nigel Farage. He is come up with openly. He's saying this is going to, the English people cannot assimilate the Muslims cannot assimilate with English people. Some of the Muslim communities he visited, and they don't know English at all. They still speaking either Arabic or Bengali or any other language, not the English one. So his biggest claim, and he was criticized by all Muslims in England. This lady, Fiona Lali is so ungrateful that because the system, she grew up in that system, she's criticizing that system only. The system which is given a good life, good education, good living, healthy everything, and she's criticizing that system, capitalism. British has a policy to bring refugees, and in that category, her parents or her grandparents must have come. So and she has freedom of speech. Any Muslim country she goes, any communist country she goes, Pakistan, Afghanistan, if she speaks even one word against any minister or any authority, she'll be killed. In communist countries, Russia, China, in Russia, Putin, all the opposition people of Putin are killed by Putin. In China, some very big shot, it's a true story. A very big shot criticized very too much money. I think Alibaba, whoever, very big, very rich, filthy rich fellow, criticized the government. He was arrested and nobody knows where he is. So I would like to say that she's very, very ungrateful. The system, the country giving her so much freedom. Otherwise, she would be a Jambi in any Muslim country or in any communist country. She'll be a Jambi. Okay, let me see if I have the slide. I could add some more points. Probably, yeah, here it is. So let me show this if you are seeing. Okay, so this is what is the why Fiona is an extremely ungrateful young lady. Her parents, grandparents immigrated Britain from African country. And I don't know, because in on the internet we cannot get her profile, who her parents are, what their religion, what she's practicing, what they are practicing. I tried a lot, but I couldn't get. Britain gave the family a lot of help to settle down in Britain. She grew up in Britain as a free person. Luxury of capitalism she enjoyed. If she is in any Islamic or communist country, she would be killed if she will say to an authority like Soila, madam, a liar and a war criminal. And unfortunately, she was removed. Soila Braverman was removed because of the Muslims, because she is against the grooming gang. These Pakistani horrible Muslims, they go there 40, 50-year-old, having 2 to 3 children, their wives, is still they 13, 14-year-old British girls. They engage and they rape them. So Soila Braverman was after these people. Then all the criminals, mostly are 99% are from Pakistan. So she was after them. So that's why, and this Rishi Sunak couldn't resist that. He has no guts to say the people who complained, the complaint against her. Rishi Sunak had no this thing, what is called any guts to tell them, no, she's doing a good work, and so forth. On the Met Police, she spoken the truth. The Met Police didn't work properly when these things were going on. So from all around, she was absolutely fine. And I admire you, madam. I like you very much as an Indian. And she, by the way, she visited Israel also. She has great regards for Israel. So this is the slide. Unfortunately, just give me 1 second. Dr. Abraham. So in fact, so that's why she was removed. Okay. So let's go back to the second slide. This thing, let me, no, this is, okay. I'll have to download this same. The other one, the next slide now will go, because this slide I have read, but it's, Okay, so now let's Said Bhai is here in Jadun Kadesh. Shalom. Let's go to the second slide. Okay. Okay, now let's see this slide. Okay, now this slide is, I think, clear. And okay, now this slide. Now let's see this slide. Okay, now this slide is, I think, clear. And okay, now this slide. Now let's see this slide. So this slide it says a lot. Now she's fighting. She's in the election, and she's fighting on. She's a. I think she doesn't have any brains. In England, she's fighting with the flag, Palestinian flag. Okay, so it's very shameful if she is fighting an election in England, Palestinian flag. And okay, so and if suppose she's doing this, she is not intelligent enough. Okay, I'm so sorry. Just a minute. She's not intelligent enough how to fight the. Now she's fighting for the English people, for the rights of English people, or she's fighting for the rights of Palestinians. And I'm saying you again. I'll show you this again. Communists and Islamists, the unholy alliance of the extremists. So when she wins the election, she's going to work with Muslims to destroy the civil society, to destroy the European culture, and to impose communism and Islam. This is what she's planning. It's very, very unfortunate. That's what, she is the most ungrateful, the height of ungratefulness that she has crossed. This is called Fiona Lali, okay? And I have a doubt. I don't know whether she's probably converted into Islam. So let's go back to our how she is evading. I don't know, evading the questions from Madam Suela Braverman. Okay, let's go to the video.
Who would like to have their say with Suela? So welcome. Fiona, thank you very much. Great to have you.
Reception is
campaigns coordinator for the Revolutionary Communist Party, and Fiona has been actively involved in the student encampments. And yeah, this is an opportunity now, I think, for a bit of engagement, a bit of dialogue, really, which is what we're after. So, Suela, is there anything?
Great, thank you. Well, I respect your opinions, and thank you for coming onto the show to take part in a discussion. One of my first questions that I was very keen to ask. I mean, were you at the encampment?
Cambridge one, but other ones.
Other ones, okay. And can I ask you what you think happened on October the 7th in Israel?
Well, obviously the camps haven't started because of October the 7th specifically. They're starting, I mean, this week in loads of encampments up and down the country. They've been celebrating and having to memorize the fact that this week commemorates the Nakba, which took place 76 years ago, which means catastrophe, which is a massive symbol of what Israel has been doing for the last 76 years. This isn't about October the 7th. And to start with that is just entirely disingenuous, I think, on your part. I really want to say that I think it's great, actually, that you went to the
not so good
camp today.
Or maybe they must have put
and you kind of embarrassed yourself, I would say, whilst doing that. It was a reminder for me, and I'm sure for other people watching, that actually the Palestine movement brought you down, and the Palestine movement has the potential to bring down lots of other Tory ministers and the whole Tory government, and not just the Tory government, I would say.
So now see here what happens.
Government and doing right now.
The interview starts from a question: what about the 7th of October? And she evades this question. She doesn't talk anything about 7th of October. She doesn't talk anything about Hamas. So now she's saying 7th of October, she went to the Nakba Day. In Nakba Day, she doesn't know the real history of Nakba Day, because Nakba Day was precipitated by the armies, Arab armies, not by the Israelis. There are 2 million Arabs are still living in Israel. They were not misplaced. They were not removed from Israel during this 1948 independence war of Israel. It's a big lie. Okay, so so this is what she Madam Suela asked, what about 7th of October? She went to Nakba. The lies. Evading question. Okay, let's go
which is a
ahead.
genocide, and that's what people
All right.
protest.
Do you want to come back to that?
Bringing down the government. Well, so you're saying your encampment has nothing to do with or Israel's response to October the 7th? Is that what you're saying? It's totally detached to October?
That is detached, I would say, is actually people.
Oh. Now here, Madam Suela asked her, what about your 7th of October? She says something else. So Madam Suela said, you are totally detached from the reality. You are showing this all your camps in your university, and you are not you don't know and don't want to comment anything about 7th of October. And Madam Suela says you are detached, and she says to this is all personal attack on Madam Suela Braverman. Always. She doesn't talk reality. She goes into, you are war criminal, you are a liar. Okay, let's see. Go ahead.
The student protesters are very attached to what is happening in Palestine, and they are doing what they can in order to stop universities who provide, I think, £450 million to the Israeli state, to the Israeli military, rather than investing in education and what they should do. You won, and your government is actually the majority of people.
It's not coming properly. Video is not coming properly. You could see this video on internet. It's very much available. So let's go where
Talk about what the Israeli state has done
what
for the
she
last
spoke about. What she spoke
76
about
years.
that
So would you
everybody
say
is against Israel.
that
just
Israel
October
has a
7th.
right to defend itself?
Israel does not have the
Okay,
right
let's
to
see
do what it is
if
doing
this
right
comes.
now, which is a genocide, which is the criminal enslavement and trapping people in certain places and then saying, you've got to move somewhere else. The ongoing invasion of Rafah that has been spoken about today, the displacement of millions of people. Of course they don't have the right to do that, and no one thinks they do.
Right.
And you posing those questions.
Okay, so now here she doesn't talk about the Israel's existence. She doesn't talk.
I don't want to talk to any war criminal.
Now
I want to grow
Israel
this
has right
encampment. I want to grow a movement.
It's quite
I
strong
think
stuff.
she doesn't say that.
it's
No.
Criminal.
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah, you
that
are a
is-
war criminal.
Okay, let me stop this because so Israel has no right to do anything. Now Israel should get beating from everybody. Okay, let me connect.
how would you
this.
respond? How would you respond to that? I mean,
Just a minute.
Well, you made some interesting points there about genocide. So let's focus on that. So the legal definition of genocide is the targeted destruction of a group of people defined by their race, their nationality, their ethnicity, or their religion. In what way would you say that Israel is targeting a group by those
Is that
standards?
a serious question? In what way is Israel targeting a group? So, you approach specific
Hamas,
people,
and they are aiming
you don't believe
to
that.
degrade.
You don't believe that at all.
If I can finish my point. Israel targeting a terrorist organisation.
Okay, I'm so sorry. There's the internet problem. So let's download the file again, video file. And let's see if it works. Otherwise, then I'll show you some slides, and then wind up the stream. And because today is Shabbat, also I have to get ready for Shabbat. Usually on Friday afternoon, I don't do any stream. Okay.
Well,
I think this is
back to Patrick Christie
this is the plan of the plan
tonight.
is
We are only on GB News.
GB News plan that nobody else could use their videos. So this is what is I'm understanding.
Now, I am joined by Suella Braverman, and earlier today, we gave protesters at Cambridge University the opportunity of a lifetime, really, to explain and justify their position to the former Home Secretary. Sadly, no one actually there decided that they wanted to engage, but we have since found one individual who would like to have their say with Suella. So welcome, Fiona. Thank you very much. Great to have you on the show. The National Campaigns Coordinator for the Revolutionary...
It's slightly better, not like before, but it's still it's taking to download a little while. I know my computer's team.
The Communist Party, and Fiona has been actively involved in the student encampments. And she did ask you a direct question. I think our viewers would like to know: Do you think it?
Let's see if it works.
Who provide, I think, £450 million to the Israeli state, to the Israeli military. Reminder for me, and I'm sure for other people watching, that
now I think it's slightly better.
Country, they've been like celebrating and having to like memorize the fact.
Dialogue, really, which is what we're after. So is there anything?
Right, thank you. Well, I respect your opinions and thank you for coming onto the show to take part in a discussion. One of my first questions that I was very keen to ask, I mean, were you at the encampment?
The Cambridge one, but other ones.
Other ones, okay. And can I ask you what your view is of the events of October the 7th? What do you think happened on October the 7th in Israel?
Okay, now here it's now I think it sounds a little better, so we'll go ahead. Now she's asking what happened on 7th of October and how she answers this. See,
well, obviously the camps haven't started because of October the 7th specifically. Right. They're starting, I mean, this week in loads of encampments up and down the country. They've been like celebrating and having to like memorize the fact that this week commemorates the Nakba, which took place 76 years ago, which means catastrophe, which is a massive symbol.
Now, see, unfortunately, I think that time was also the Independence Day celebration in Israel, and then she didn't speak anything about 7th of October. She goes to Nakba. I told you. Okay, so
of what Israel has been doing for the last 76 years. This isn't about.
Now she goes to last 76 years. She forgets about how liar she is, and she tells Madam Suella, "You are a liar." 3 times, 4 times. I think 3 times she has said you're a liar, and once she said you're a war criminal. Anybody in any communist country or any Islamic country will talk like this to any government official will be either be jailed or will be killed. Putin has killed, China's all, and this fellow, North Korea, nobody can talk against that fellow. And all these Muslim countries, all these people are big speakers today. You see on the social media, all they ran away from their Muslim countries because they were not allowed to talk anything, and they couldn't live in, as a free person, they couldn't live in any Islamic countries. They ran away to America, ran away to Iraq. Okay, let's see.
October the 7th. And to start with that is just entirely disingenuous, I think, on your part. I really want to say that I think it's great, actually.
She attacked always. This is a personal attack. See what you have done in this sense. Listen to
that
her.
You went to that camp today and tried to talk to those students, and you kind of embarrassed yourself, I would say, whilst doing that, because it was a reminder for me, and I'm sure for other people watching, that actually the Palestine movement brought you down, and the Palestine movement
brought Suella Braverman down. Exactly, but I don't agree, because she is very much against, very much against the grooming gang, very much against the Islamist criminals. She's very much against even the police, because police is bribed by the Muslim countries, and they don't work against the Muslims in UK. Obviously, 100 people liars, one person is speaking the truth will not sustain, will not survive. This is the case. Okay, no problem.
has the potential to bring down lots of other Tory ministers and the whole Tory.
Okay, but now she's saying that this movement could bring down many Tory ministers, many people from the government, Rishi Sunak's government.
Tory government, and not just the Tory government, I would say any government and any mainstream political party that is backing what Israel is doing right now, which is a genocide, and that's what people are protesting.
Do you want to come back to that?
Bringing down the government.
Okay, now she's gone to Israel is a genocide. Now Israel, ICJ never said Israel is doing genocide. ICC, Karim Khan, and that fellow who is the chief judge of ICJ also has not said that Israel is doing genocide. ICC also has not said Israel is doing genocide. And this woman sitting here is saying Israel is doing genocide. Okay, let's see.
Well, so you're saying your encampment has nothing to do with the events of October the 7th or Israel's response to October the 7th. Is that what you're saying? It's totally detached to October the 7th?
No, absolutely. She's totally detached from this event, October 7th, and also the response of Israeli army, Israeli government to that. And she doesn't want to talk about it. And you know what? How she will answer this? She will say, Suella Braverman, you are detached. Let's see.
Israel's response.
The only thing that is detached, I would say, is actually your views and your approach to this whole situation and the whole of the Tory government. The people, the student protesters, are very attached to what is happening in Palestine, and they are doing what they can in order to stop universities who provide, I think, £450 million to the Israeli state, to the Israeli military, rather than investing in their own education and what they should be putting money into. You are the one, and your government is completely.
Okay, so she doesn't have any idea, because the Hamas is saying it's do global jihad. Wherever the Jews are living, kill them. And after Jews will be killed, kill the Christians. This is what the Hamas plan is. 450 million pounds, the government of Britain is using the money to protect the country, to protect their, this thing, what is called the citizens of Britain, because they want to live a free life. They don't want to live under Sharia. They don't want to live under communism. So whatever amount of money is spent is having a worth. Okay, let's go.
Completely out of touch with what actually the majority of people in Britain think about what's happening. The majority of people in Britain.
Majority people of Britain is, let's say,
do not support what Israel is doing and actually want us to stop sending weapons. And you were saying today that we should send more, which is completely opposed to what people in Britain actually want. So I think you're detached.
Right. So on arms. So can I ask you, what's your view of Hamas?
I don't want to talk about Hamas. I want to talk about why, and the reason.
She doesn't want to talk Hamas. Because of the Hamas only this is going on. All the university protests are going on, all the tent and everything. And she doesn't want to talk about Hamas. See how what you will say about her. She doesn't want to talk Hamas. And this thing is Hamas. This everything, whatever problem is going on because of Hamas. And she doesn't want to talk. Okay. Let's see what she talks about.
The reason that you want to talk about Hamas is because you
Now
want to keep...
she's blaming Madam Soila Braverman that you want to talk Hamas, you want to do politics, you want to do this and that. Okay.
justifying spending more money for Israel, right? Sunak earlier, a month or two ago, was talking about increasing defence spending to 2.5%. They want to spend loads of money on that, but no money on the NHS, no money on education. You want to cut pensions, you want to cut council budgets. That's what the government that you support is doing, which is causing serious suffering in this country as well.
This is not to do with...
It's a serious suffering because of you people, because of so many immigrants, so many illegal immigrants, so many criminals. Those Muslims, 73%, 74% Muslims, they don't work in England. They live on the government's money. People like you, not contributing, and the system, you are not helping the system, Fiona Lali, and you are against the system because you are fed so much of money from Muslims, Qatar and all, and the Communist Party giving you a lot of money to go against England, which the system has done so much good for your parents and for you. You are going dead against it. The money is spending is not money is spent having a big worth, because once you people are stopped entry, or immigrants and especially Muslims entry is stopped in England will be much richer and happier country, and all Muslims must be removed from England. Okay.
Hamas, it's not to do with Israel, it's about the Conservative government. Is this an anti-Conservative?
You're bringing up Hamas. Of course we're anti-Conservative, because the Conservative government is facilitating and supporting a genocide, and not just that.
Okay, so now the Suela government, Madam, and Rishi Sunak's government is conservative government. There are two, Labour and Conservative. So she is dead against conservative government, and she's okay. So
it's also overseeing a horrific set of policies, austerity policies, that are damaging everyone's lives in Britain today.
Okay. So you have no view on Hamas, and you have no message for Hamas, and you have no
I'm not here to
connection
talk about Hamas.
You're not here, right? So
No,
you don't
I
have a view.
connection.
Now the show was made, and Madam Soela visited this camp in the morning to meet some of these people. They are doing protests in the universities, and nobody could talk to her. And so basically everything is because of Hamas, and she doesn't want to talk Hamas. She doesn't have any view Hamas. She doesn't want any or wants to say any message to Hamas, and Israel's response. Okay, let's see.
Hamas.
Okay, and so what's your message? Do you believe Israel has a right to exist?
What is your message to the majority of people in Britain?
Now see how she's avoiding the questions. She doesn't want to answer these real questions. Israel's survival, Israel's existence. She has to say Israel must exist. So she attacks personally. She attacks her, Madam Soela Braverman. What about your view? And
who don't support you, who hate the Tories, who hate you specifically, right? You went to Cambridge State. You were saying
you, and this Hamas and Israel's response has gone away.
You were saying
it's a fair question.
I don't want to pile in.
And Madam Soela is saying it was not my question, and this fellow had to intervene, and let's see what he
absolutely, crack on as far as I'm concerned. But she did ask you a direct question. I think our viewers would like to know: Do you think Israel has a right to exist?
I think that's a silly question, to be honest. And I think you're asking those questions.
Israel has right to exist is a silly question. How silly she is. In this modern world is run, most of the world is run by democracy. Israel is a pure and real democracy in Middle East. Okay, I'll give you the example. All votes are counted manually, and in last 3 years, 4 years, how many elections Israel went through, because there was no clear-cut majority. That's Israel. And she says, no, I don't want to. Okay,
to
let's
distract from the central point that I was making, which is that
now she's blaming again. Again, a personal attack. You want to distract me from, I'm making this point.
the reason you don't like these student protesters and you don't like these encampments, one, is because they've already brought you down, but two, it's because of what it represents.
Now, the student protests were brought down Madam Suela because she was removed from the post of the secretary, home secretary. So this is all because, so she doesn't want to talk about the Hamas and terror and Israel's response and Israel's existence, this thing. She doesn't want to talk. And then she goes after Madam Suela Braverman again. And, you know, poor Suela.
Which is a growing movement and a growing feeling in
now, this growing movement, I'll tell you in few minutes. I'll tell you this growing movement is this movement will be killed by the local British people, Britons, and I'll show you.
This country, which is against the Tories and against any main political parties.
You have made that point. I am very interested. Although when I did go there were lots of posters about Israel. There were posters about Palestine, and there were placards about Gaza. So we can't completely ignore the issue about what's happening.
And I'm asking
let's
talk about what the Israeli state has done for the last 76 years.
So would you say that Israel has a right to defend itself?
Israel does not have the right to do what it is doing right now, which is...
Israel has no right to do what Israel is doing now. How silly it is. The question is also silly, but she is silly. She doesn't understand. Any country is attacked the way, any country will respond more than what Israel has responded. But she is foolish. She's a big fool. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Only just after the Suela Braverman that you are this, you are that. So let me show you. Let me show you a little bit this that how Britons are coming. All right. So let's see. Okay, let me show you how. Okay, let's go. Let's continue the interview, and we'll see.
Genocide, which is the criminal enslavement and trapping people in certain places and then saying you've got to move somewhere else. The ongoing invasion of Rafah that has been spoken about today, the displacement of millions of people. Of course they don't have the right to do that, and no one thinks they do.
Right.
And no one thinks that they do. ICC has clearly said that Israel is not doing any genocide. Okay. Oh, okay. Let me add this. And if it is possible to go, okay.
Using those questions is exactly what makes students in Cambridge think, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to talk to any war criminal, I want to grow this encampment, I want to grow a movement.
Well, it's quite strong stuff. I mean, as far
criminal.
Yeah, I mean, so
you are a war criminal.
How would you respond to that? I mean,
She's saying you are war criminal. Any communist country, any Islamic country, anybody will talk like this to any government official would be killed immediately. She should learn this. She has a luxury of democracy, capitalism, where everything is free. You move freely, you talk freely, nobody will be after you. Fiona Lali, I don't know. I have so much pity on you. I'm thinking about, okay, so let's see.
You know.
Well, you made some interesting points there about genocide. So let's focus on that. So the legal definition of genocide is the targeted destruction of a group of people defined by their race, their nationality, their ethnicity, or their religion. In what way would you say that Israel is targeting a group by those standards?
In what way is Israel targeting a group? So the killing and the injuring of over 100,000 people already in Palestine to you doesn't feel like a targeted approach towards specific
Hamas,
people.
And they are aiming
You don't believe that. You don't believe that at all.
If I can finish my...
Now, see, now she's blaming Israel. They're targeting this, targeting that. But Israel's main aim is to target Hamas. and to kill Hamas and to remove Hamas from the power. She says, no, they are doing a genocide. A genocide, she said, no, it doesn't matter. They are doing genocide. See, on her own, she's talking about.
Point to you, because I've listened to you quite a lot. What do you say about the very legitimate aim, I would put to you, that Israel is targeting a terrorist organisation called Hamas and is aiming to degrade, destabilise and even kill Hamas terrorists?
No. I
disagree with that?
I disagree with that completely. And calling it legitimate, you're talking about legal. Even if you want to talk about the legal world, law, whatever, all of those like institutions, the International Court of Justice, have also said that legally what is happening and what Israel is doing is a genocide,
Well,
and is moving towards a genocide.
Let's stick to
and
facts
I think
here.
that, and I think okay, let's stick to facts.
That is actually
40,000 people dead.
Fine.
More than
She doesn't want to talk doesn't want to talk about Hamas. She knows if she talks about Hamas, she will have to admit that they are criminal, they are terrorists. So she will no, that is not correct, that is not right. Israel is doing genocide. That's it. That's her one, like this thing.
that's
injured,
as well.
millions of people displaced. That is
Now you know, Fiona Lali, you are talking about 100,000, or you know how many people are misplaced in Syria, in Lebanon, in Pakistan. 1.89 million, 19 lakhs people, Afghanis, were removed from Pakistan. 750,000 people are dead in Syria. In Lebanon, so many Christians are dead. Then if you go to see Ukraine, how many people this communist regime of Putin killed, how many Muslims are killed by China and Russia. What you're doing about it, madam? What you're Fiona Lali, just because Jews are doing the protecting themselves, Israel is protecting from all the terror attacks in future, that is giving you pain. Okay, so let me see if we have some. Okay, so see here, this is come. See, now you see this is going on in England. Okay, okay, let me see. Let me show you. No more Muslims in UK. But she's saying that no. You are talking. You are a liar, and so this movement is going on in England. Okay, now let's see the. All right, so we'll show you this slideshow. I will prove her wrong in each and every regard. So let's go back to the show again, to the interview.
those are the facts on the ground.
Well, again, let's stay with facts.
Now, Madam Suela must have told these are not facts. You are talking something rubbish. So let's see. 40,000 people died. Now, United Nations has admitted these are not the real figure. These are not the real figure.
So the International Court of Justice has not said
It doesn't matter at the end of the day.
I think it might. I mean,
No, for her, it doesn't matter. In end of the day, the Israel is still doing the genocide, according to her. Okay, let's go ahead.
It doesn't. We can argue over
matter a little
specific
bit,
words.
doesn't
We can argue over specific words. It is a fact that they are enacting a horrific massacre right now. And you talking about Hamas, it's just a smoke.
And what Hamas did to Israel, she doesn't want to talk about this. Okay, let's see.
For their general interest in the region. And it's not just them acting by themselves, is it? America is backing them financially, militarily, and our government stopped their universities investing in that entire system. And it's not just the students who are protesting. Obviously, there have been protests all up and down the country, protests that you tried to attack and failed to do, and the protests grew ever since then because you are out of touch with what people actually think and actually want.
Well, that's interesting because one of the key things that defined that particular moment, really, of British political.
See, again, she started attacking Madam Suela. You are It's a joke.
History
Let's
was
see
the
what
hate
this
marches
gentleman-
situation.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, how would you respond to some of the things that have been said there about that?
Well, I mean, I just want to correct a few things for the record. So the International Court of Justice, and I think you dismiss them as words and irrelevancies. I don't think what the International Court of Justice says is negligible. The International Court of Justice has not said categorically that Israel is committing genocide.
Okay.
The International Court of Justice has said that the Palestinian people may have a plausible right to be protected from genocide. No one would disagree with that. But we must be careful about miscommunicating and misrepresenting that. It has not said, and indeed no authority has said, that Israel is committing genocide.
Okay.
There is no evidence
Sure.
for a genocide.
No evidence.
Second thing I would also say is that,
that real?
we're going back to the marches. Now, of the marches, of course, everybody has the right to peaceful protest and expressing their views. But what we have seen, and I'd be interested in your views, is anti-Semitism. We've seen from the river to the sea. That is an anti-Semitic chant calling for the eradication of Israel, the eradication of Israelis, and the eradication of Jewish people.
No, you're a liar. You're a liar. On every single one of these mass protests, right, there is a huge Jewish bloc.
She says very clearly, you are a liar. My goodness. Any communist country or any Islamic country, anybody will talk to an authority like this, will be sent to jail or will be killed. Okay, let's see. Listen to her, what she says.
All of these encampments, the encampments that you went to today, even in Cambridge, talking about all this kind of stuff, the Cambridge group, Cambridge Jews for Justice, they said, you are weaponizing their identity to promote a culture war. And that's all this is, because you've got no actual real policies or statements or anything to offer people in this country. Let's be honest, the reason you're here and the reason you went today is because you want to be the leader of the Tory party. You're interested in your career. You're interested in promoting that. So that's why you come out with...
Now she goes again after Madam Suella Braverman. You, and you. Let's see.
Could I ask? I mean, this is
and that's completely false to call the marches anti-Semitic. People don't believe that.
I'm completely great about this. I'm sure most people are. But are you not just dismissing anti-Semitism there? Because there is anti-Semitism. I mean, I have heard anti-Semitism at some of these marches. I have been in amongst quite a few ones, not the ones I was at today, absolutely, but quite a few of the ones that, I mean, I have been, and quite often when you scratch the surface a bit, there are some anti-Semitic views. It might come across like you are dismissing anti-Semitism a bit.
I don't think it does, because the thing is, like, let's talk about the broader context of this, which is Suella Braverman lecturing anyone about racism. I don't think is gonna, I don't think anyone.
Again, she goes after Suella Braverman. She doesn't talk common things. She's just attacking right from the beginning, attacking on Madam Suella Braverman. That's it. That she knows. That she is doing, which is absolutely wrong. This is going against her. Any sensible and intelligent person listening and looking or watching this interview would prove her a big fool, not a matured person. Okay, let's go ahead.
Going to listen to that. Basically, you specifically and your government have been the architects of horrific racist policies and whipping. You're talking about hatred, you're talking about violence, you're talking about all of these terrible things. I was watching the thing today, you're saying war is a tragedy and all of this kind of stuff. First of all, capitalism produces all of that tragedy, produces race.
Okay, so now she has come to the capitalism. This was the beginning of the video, and it's coming very soon. Don't get bored. And so she's dead against capitalism, and capitalism has given her parents, her grandparents, a very good life in England. Okay, and still she criticizes that. And she's supporting Islam. She's supporting Muslims. And when they'll be in majority, they will convert. Fiona Lali, they will convert you first. They'll forcibly marry you. And if you don't marry, they'll rape you and they'll kill you to become Islamic. Okay, remember this. So don't be on the air or watch dreams about the Islamic Sharia or communism. Both are, you will be like a jambi. in both the systems. You will not have any freedom. Okay, let's see.
Racism produces all these.
I mean, I do wonder if that's the central point, isn't it? Is it?
You know, Madam Braverman is very much surprised at what kind of stupid or foolish person she is. She's not talking in any sense, just lecturing and going away from the subject, that the subject of the discussion. She's talking something else, personal attack on Madam. And this, she has been praised on by Al Jazeera, by the Communist Party's channel. She's praised. Oh, you put down Sohaila Braverman. She gonna no. Sohaila Braverman, madam, is very decent. She heard her. She listened to her. And according to the system, according to the free speech system of Britain, she didn't do anything. And finally, she says, you are having a luxury of capitalism. Let's see. She says this.
I'll let you come on this, but you know there have been the allegations of racism there. But again, it is actually your main argument for you is you want to smash the capitalist system.
Absolutely, because capitalism produces war and produces imperialism, which.
So she's dead against capitalism, which has given her a very good life. I really like capitalism. There's nothing wrong in it. I am from a very small, very simple family. I became a doctor. I studied well. I became a doctor. I'm serving humanity. I'm take care of my family. I'm trying to help people other than me and my family. This is capitalism. What is wrong in it? What is wrong in capitalism? You grow independently. You have full rights and everything to think about you. Your brain is broader than, and when you are living among the Sharia, as Muslims and under Sharia or communism, you are a Jambi. Fiona Lali, listen to that. You are a Jambi. Okay, let's go ahead.
Fundamentally has been driving everything that's happened over the last 76 years. It isn't just about the last 7 months or anything like this. I'm entirely opposed to the capitalist system and the horrors that it produces across the world in many different places, but also in this country too. And that's what you support. And
let's come back to a couple of.
Okay. Now, Fiona Lali, I would like to tell you the 7th of October war was imposed or attack was by your own communist country. China supported Iran, Russia supported Iran, North Korea supported Iran. Iran became very rich, and the result of this was the 7th of October attack. And for your kind information, the whole Palestinian matter was raised by Yasser Arafat with the help of Russians, with the help of communist people. The capitalist people never opposed Israel. Capitalist people never did anything against Israel. It's all your communist country. Go to the records, and if you have, just come on this channel. I'll teach you everything. The whole creation of Palestinian problem was from Russia, USSR. That time it was not Russia, USSR. Remember this. So the product of communism is Palestinian problem. It's going on from 1964, from the time. Otherwise, from before 1964, there was no Palestine. Palestine problem was created with the help by Russians, with the help of Yasser Arafat. Come to my channel, write to me, I will talk to you. Okay?
Points there. So there's the racism stuff and there's the capitalism stuff. So go on.
And there's the point which is often lost in this debate. So you mentioned Jewish people who are supporting the encampments, Jewish people on the marches. That is, again, a misrepresentation of the situation. The only Jewish people who are accepted as part of these encampments and marches are Jewish people who don't support the state of Israel. And there are some Jews, there are a minority of Jewish people within the Jewish community who are not supportive of the concept of a state of Israel. Jewish people who disagree with you, I would argue, would not be welcome on your marches. They would be intimidated, they would feel harassed and uncomfortable. And in fact, we've got evidence of many incidents of anti-Semitism since October the 7th on campus around the country, where Jewish students have felt that they cannot express themselves and they cannot behave and live freely on campus. And that's one important point. In terms of the charge against racism, listen, I mean, I don't agree with that. The government and our government policy is to control migration. That's something that we've been elected to do. We have a mandate to do that, and it's something that we owe the British people. And then lastly, on capitalism,
majority of the British people don't support
we have
or the rest of your government.
On capitalism. Listen, we could talk for hours about capitalism, but I would just point out, your trainers, your bracelet, everything you're wearing, the coffee you had this morning, the car you
made
drove
by
in,
workers.
The car you drove in today are all products of capitalism. We're in this studio, we're living in a free and democratic society because we're beneficiaries of capitalism, growth, enterprise and freedom.
No, the only people who
it's
benefit
really
from
interesting, and what I would
like
challenge you
yourself.
to think about and reflect on is, as a beneficiary of capitalism, where you have a lot of luxury comparatively by global standards, you are actually undermining the very system that has brought millions of people, in fact billions of people, out of poverty around the world and brought education, good standards, good healthcare, clean water, education, fair treatment to girls,
5 million
housing,
people,
housing
5 million
and wealth
children,
and prosperity to the world.
5 million
around.
children every single year die needlessly of malnutrition, of preventable diseases, and you sit here.
Okay, so 5 million people dying through net
saying that it's bringing people.
The 5 million or 10 million or 100 million people, children dying in their own countries, this is their problem. Why you are blaming Suella Braverman, madam? Okay, a foolish girl. Okay,
that's exactly that. So I want to ask you a quick point on this, because I've now been to a few of these, a couple of these student encampments, right? I'm not convinced that the vast majority of people at those encampments are actually students at those universities. Could you explain about how you organise these? Because I think it's important for people to know. Like the Cambridge one, there's one at Oxford, there's been one I think at Sheffield and Leeds and places like that. Because it's easy to give the impression that these are students at those universities, and I just don't think they are they?
And why do they wear masks?
They are.
Are they wearing masks? Why are they concealing their identities?
Some people wear masks, some people don't. These are
pretty much everyone was wearing a mask today, I've got to say.
Right? These are student protests, and in some places, other people, not students, have gotten involved, and I think that's a great thing.
Are they students at that university?
Because I think the staff from those universities should get involved, and in almost every single one of the encampments, there's statements of support from the staff who want to encourage the students, and not just that, wider people from the community coming to provide food, to provide support for what the students are doing. And the reason that they're doing that is because everyone has realised that you cannot appeal to politicians. There's not a single politician in this country that is actually going to do something to try and stop what's taking place. And they are realising the only faith that people can have, the only power that people really have, is in themselves. And that's what I'm here to promote. And that's why we need to widen out the encampments and grow the movement to beyond what it currently is doing, so that we can actually...
Her oral diarrhea starts like this, but she doesn't talk any sense. Okay, there is a very little number of, very small number of students there protesting, and they are non-university. They are all criminals, Hamas criminals. Okay, they are not even part of university. In America, these people were arrested. 25% people are not connected to any university. So the same thing is here, and they have pumped a lot of money. George Soros and Qatar, they have given so much money to these children, and they are misguiding, and they are blinded by something which is called brainwashing. And this is one of this is the best example. You see this, she's talking now. Okay, I think the interview got
the government and their support for the war machine in Israel.
Okay, right. So there we go.
Now the war machine, this stupid girl, is foolish girl. War machine is Iran. Okay, Iran doesn't want Israel to live. Iran doesn't want Israel to survive. Iran whole management from 1979. Read the history, you stupid idiot girl. You're telling a nice patriotic lady, a liar, a war criminal. You should have some shame. Anyway, so the war machine is your all communist countries. Putin attacked Ukraine. Putin supports Iran, attacked Israel. China, a purely a communist country, supports Iran, buys oil, gives weapons, takes weapons. North Korea, purely a communist country. North Korea, you say something against that Ang Won, what's his name? He kills on a spot. You will not survive even for 1 minute. Fiona Lali, you will not survive for even 1 minute, 1 hour after you say something like this. Freedom of speech. In Islamic countries, all these speakers, I have told you, all these people, big people, they are on internet today criticizing Israel. They are all from Muslim countries, ran away from Muslim countries to non-Muslim countries to survive. Otherwise, they would have got arrested and would have died, would have killed, would be killed. So this is the case now. What she says that this is going on in England. Many people are supporting this movement. Just few more seconds, we'll listen and let's see.
So I'll give the final word on this because we are very pressed for time. You have had a good opportunity here to engage with somebody, in a wholehearted discussion about what you've seen. What's your view on what we've heard?
Well, having discussed a little bit, I mean, one thing that strikes me is, the lack of facts in the conversation and in the debate.
So she says very clearly, this is the reality of this show. This is the reality of this, the lack of facts. She spoke all lies, and she has been praised by so many people, Al Jazeera and what is called the Revolutionary Communist Party's YouTube channel. She was given warm welcome. And but she was removed from so many shows because she talks rubbish, she talks bullshit, she talks something which is not acceptable. She talks whatever she likes, no facts. Then Madam Braverman is for sure is saying the truth. Okay, let's see.
The slightly irrational perspective on basic facts of our society, of which you're a beneficiary, like capitalism, but you'll never.
Absolutely. Madam Suela, you are absolutely right. She's beneficiary. She has a lot of benefits from the capitalism and capital society and capital culture, capitalism, civil culture. Your parents, your grandparents came from some African starving, naked, had no food, nothing to drink. They came to Britain, and now you are anti that system. Then not only what Israel has done to you, stupid woman, what Israel has done to you, you are dead against Israel. And you go among the Islam, this group, once they come in power, they'll convert you forcibly. Remember this. You will not remain what you are today. And you speak anything against anybody and they will kill you on the spot. Okay.
We won't agree on that. And ultimately, your refusal to answer basic questions about Hamas and Israel's.
And she refused. Yeah, this is a very good conclusion. For Hamas, for Israel to respond, for Israel's existence, she never answered these questions. And many channels have praised her. Oh, you shut down Suela Braverman. You showed her this and shouldn't. Bullshit. Nothing. All lies. Nobody should. And I request all the Britons not even give her one single vote. She's promoting Islam. She's dead against England. She's born there, but she's a traitor, biggest traitor. I'll show you the slide. And what she has said, that no, there's a Tory government, conservative government, against people are against. They are waking up against Islam. So what Fiona Lali, remember this. Okay, let's see. I think this will
right
this
to
is
defend
over.
herself right now. It's interesting to hear your views. We're not going to agree.
I'll give you a fact.
Now her oral diarrhea starts again. Let's see.
40,000 people killed by Israel.
40,000 people killed by Israel. Nobody knows the real figure. Stupid girl, foolish girl. You don't know anything. Talk sense. You are an educated person. Nobody should laugh on you. Everybody must trust you. United Nations has said very clearly that these figures are not correct. 40,000 people. And they have where nobody is declaring how many Hamas terrorists are killed. Okay, let's see.
Nearly 100,000 injured in the process. Millions of people.
Billions of people, 100,000. Syria, Lebanon, Houthi, Saudi Arabia has killed how many Houthis? Pakistan is 1.9 million people are displaced. You never spoke about that. In Syria, 750,000 people died. You never spoke about. And I would like to show you every day. Just a minute. Let's share the screen. I would like to show you this. It's very clear, Fiona Lali. I will tag you, and I hope you will see this. You will see this video. You see this site. Let me show you this. www.thereligion of peace. Okay, now I'll show you this. I'll show you what real Islam is, and you don't talk about it. ICJ doesn't talk. United Nations doesn't talk. ICC doesn't talk. Let's see today what happened. How many people are killed in this week from June 1st to June 7th? 39 terror attacks, 286 killed, injured 370. And where you foolish girl you are? Palestinian heroes, murders, rapists and kidnappers of babies. See? And this is Nigeria. Christians singled out and executed. Where are you, Fiona? Where are you? Why you are after the Jews? Why you are after Israel? Democrat of Israel, 30 innocent people, including children, are hacked to death with massive tests by Islamists. You are sleeping. You are only you are against Israel. Probably from inside you are a Muslim. Yemen, Ansar Allah use a boat bomb against a Greek-owned ship, killing a worker. India, Islamists fire on a bus carrying Hindu pilgrims, sending it into gourds and killing at least 9. Where are you? Where are you? Are you a real person? Liar. You are the biggest liar, not Suela Braverman, not Madam Suela Braverman. I hope you will see this presentation. Boko Haram had 10 villagers and shoot 10 others at close range. These are the real figures. You go to this site. And what happened this day on June 14, 2017, Mogadishu, Somalia, religion of peace activists storm a restaurant, 31 killed. And if you go here, we have a full May month's record here. 110 attacks, killed 489, injured 352, suicide blast 1, countries 23. Are you sleeping, Fiona? If you are a real person, real human, you will work here. And most of this is the worst affected place, Africa, where all the non-Muslims are killed by Muslims. This is your Islam, and you're supporting that. Okay, let's go back. So I think last comment comes from this thing. Let's see.
Fact.
Could I just
one
more important
fact. And you're a liar.
One more really important point. Just it's a yes or no, really. Before we go, does Israel have a right to exist?
This is the wrong
Again, she says she's a liar.
question.
Well, okay. I think that's quite tough.
And should the hostages be released?
Listen.
Which you're a beneficiary like capitalism, but you'll never, we won't agree on that. And ultimately, your refusal to answer basic questions about Hamas and Israel's right to defend herself right now. It's, interesting to hear your views. We're not going to agree.
I'll give you a fact. 40,000 people killed by Israel, nearly 100,000 injured in the process, millions of people displaced.
Not a fact.
That is a fact.
Could I just ask one more important fact?
And you're a liar.
Look, one more really important point. Just it's a yes or no, really. Before we go, does Israel have a right to exist?
This is the wrong question that you're asking.
Okay. I think that's quite tough.
And should the hostages be released?
No.
Why is this conflict happening in the first place?
Foolish girl, I have never seen such fool in my life. You ask questions.
It's easy to say yes to that.
Who is the responsible?
Do you believe women were raped on October the 7th by Hamas?
I believe there is a lot of violence taking place across that whole region, and I think Western imperialists are the first people who set up that problem in the first place.
Okay, not any important. Let's go to a little bit slideshow. Now the internet started giving the problem. Uh, so let's go to the slideshow, and so we'll go to the slideshow, and I think we should remove this from the show because she doesn't want to condemn Hamas. She goes to Netanyahu. She goes to only that's it. Is let me remove this, remove from the studio. Okay. So now this is what is going on in England. No more Muslims in the UK. This is London, not London stand. So basically, the English people are waking up. They are now fighting against Islam. So this is what's happening now. Their nationalism is now getting up, okay, getting increased. This we have seen already, and if I'll show you a couple of videos also, especially the Indians must be very careful about those things. How Muslims are terrorizing Hindus in UK schools. So wherever they are, these Muslims are such horrible people. Wherever they are, they create problems. UK Muslims condemn Hamas. Some of them, not everybody. They are praising Tommy Robinson arrested because he is telling Britons to wake up. And this was a very successful program on 1st of May. Tommy Robinson, 1st of May 2024, short film, British Lions Hear Us Roar. So just whenever you have time, please see this movie. And London is like, full of patriotism, okay? And nobody wants this is London, not London stand, is London stand, okay? And this is our Tommy Robinson. I admire him. I love him. He's a wonderful man. It looked friendly and patriotic. So very friendly. They didn't do anything wrong. And here is this horrible face. Revolutionary communist is standing for election. Please don't vote. Any English person sees this video, don't vote Fiona Lali. Suella Braverman is schooled by pro-Palestinians. See, it is not a school. The whole video you have seen, she did only foolish things. What is school? And this fellow also removes her. He is not praiser. He doesn't want to praise Suella Braverman. Okay. So Gaza solidarity protest in UK, Braverman is a war criminal. Yeah. So this is from Al Jazeera. Okay, quite obvious. And this is the same. I made this, and we are importing the world's problems. Now people started talking about free Palestine. They are living in England talking about Palestine. Stupid Muslims. And now here is the best. This is the best slideshow. Central London packed as 1,000 rally, 2-tier policing. Okay, so here is a English flag, Israeli flag, and other flags. So this is total patriotism. Okay. And I would like to show you one very important, how Arab diplomats clashed with each other over Palestine. They fought in this meeting where this Blinken was there. Okay, now let's go. Now this is what is this symbolizing? Why? Okay, you do protest. You do. What Suella madam saw these people. These are the terrorists. These are Hamas terrorists, covering their faces, and these are the students. What's the difference? So all these students are basically terrorists. Supporting terror is terror. So terrorists. And I want to make a good profile of Madam Braverman, who she is, where she was, what's her education. I love and I admire her because she's a patriot. She takes care of the nation. She takes care of this thing. Now enough. This is a police officer, pro Hamas, pro Palestinian. He was arrested. Okay, but maybe the English people, if these people go a little back, Tommy Robinson, UK citizen, protest against Islamists, deport all Islamist protesters. Fiona Lali, be careful. Tens of thousands in London say no to Islamism is the best finally waking up. This is the reaction. Okay. And Israel Khai, Israel Zindabad. Okay. It's the same. Okay. I think we have, this is also another a show, and they openly praised the Jewish state, praised the Jews. And see, Carolyn, she's not Jewish. She lives in, I think, Germany, and she came like this this is something to show her sincerity to the nation of Israel. And this is what here we are. Communists and Islamists, the unholy alliance of the extremists. They will destroy the new civilization. Islam and communism, an unholy alliance. Okay. Only blood, only blood. The Christianity will be in the blood. And this is Hamas Sinwar said to loud high civilian death toll in Gaza as necessary sacrifice. Why people are blaming Israel? These people want any Israel must kill many civilians. And here also the Sinwar, and this is Khalid Mashal, this is Sinwar. I'll go a little fast. So some more I would like you one or two videos also. Present, go to the video file. Only one video I would like to show because it's all more than 1 hour. Fiona Lali also must see this video. I'm going to, and other people.
I have translation.
No, I know you have translation, but I just want to make sure you get it right. There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremists and terrorists coming out of Europe because of the lack of decision-making, trying to be politically correct, or assuming that they know the Middle East and they know Islam and they know the others far better than we do. And I'm sorry, but that's pure ignorance.
Okay, so this is a warning. Many months ago, this video was put on the internet, and I will show this all the time. It's not the Islam's problem, it's the problems. Thank you very much indeed. Shalom, namaste, Jai Bharat, Jai Israel, Shabbat, Shalom, everybody, and we'll meet tomorrow or day after. Okay, I'm going to end the stream. It's already 1.5 hours. And by the grace of God, have a wonderful Shabbat. Okay.